Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. Okay, hey Sherry, hey Gwen, hello, hello. Thank you all for being here, and the people in the bushes. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button and sub to this channel if you have not already. This is going to be very interesting. Um, well, happy Black History Month, like I always say in February, but it's Black History every day with us over here. Okay, so happy Black History. So tonight, I'm going to honor something that I've never done before. Kendrick Lamar, a rapper. I'm going to honor him for Black History Month because I saw the halftime show and I thought it was one of the best halftime shows that I have ever seen. Now, Prince has always been my favorite, but Kendrick Lamar was up there because he stood on something and he did what he did. So Kendrick Lamar, let me put his face up here real quick. So I hope you all, if you didn't watch it, you should go and TikTok has the full halftime show. And it was really, really, really good. Like good. I was shocked, to be honest. Okay, let's see if I get this here. Ciao. I can't never get it together, huh? There we go. Okay. Showing my screen. Kendrick Lamar. Kudos to Kendrick for a great halftime show. And something just popped up on my in my news feed that told me that he has been banned from performing at the NFL forever, for his entire life. No one cares, but we care about Kendrick. So Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl, I don't know what that is, halftime performance on February 9th, 30, 40 something. February 9th, which was yesterday, 2025 at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, was a groundbreaking display of artistry and cultural commentary. Departing from traditional halftime spectacles, Lamar infused his set with narrative depth and political symbolism, captivating audience both in the stadium and at home. The performance featured tracks from his recent album, GNX, including the provocative Not Like Us, a diss track targeting Drake. Notably, the show included appearance by Samuel L. Jackson portraying Uncle Sam and Serena Williams, who joined Lamar on stage, adding layers of cultural significance. The elaborate choreography involving over 80 dancers and the strategic use of visual elements underscore Lamar's message, challenging viewers to reflect on societal issues by prioritizing artistic integrity over mainstream appeal. Lamar redefined the expectations of Super Bowl performances, leaving a lasting impact on the events in history. So that was a great halftime show. If you did not see it, I suggest you go see it. It had a lot of meaning to it, and it was very about social issues and justice issues in this country. And Donald Trump was in the audience. I don't know if he left because when they started singing Not Like Us, or when he told him the revolution will be televised, maybe he left. I don't know. But if he did, he should have stayed because the message was for him. And when I tell you there was one of the best halftime shows, kudos to Kendrick Lamar. And a lot of people don't want to hear about it. The left is all for it. The right, why he didn't have to do this and why did he do this and blah, blah, blah. It's always pointing the finger. The right are a bunch of hypocrites. And we're going to get into that today. Okay? So kudos to Kendrick Lamar. Black History, we're going to celebrate him. Okay. Had to say that. All right. So let's go ahead and start this program here. So welcome to today's episode where we break down the whirlwind of executive orders, policy shifts, and high-profile decisions coming out of the White House under the newly elected felon, Donald Trump. In just a short time, his administration has wasted no time enacting elements of Project 2025 blueprint, a strategic conservative overhaul of the federal government spearheaded by the Heritage Foundation. While the media is consumed by the shock and awe of sweeping executive orders, ranging from an immediate federal hiring freeze to the rollback of climate regulations, what's unfolding behind the scenes is far more consequential. So we know that Elon Musk is in it to win it, right? Because he is trying to get paid. Okay. All right. That's where we at. Hey, the intellectual. What's going on? Soapbox. I know it was something that salute. Thank you. Just did a show today about the 47 agenda. Oh, wow. Got to go over there and look at that. Thank you for coming. Okay, so Gwen said, according to the internet, he left early and was booed when he was there. Yep, I saw that. So like I said, if you go to TikTok, they had a video of him being booed when he came down on the field and they were booing him. He shouldn't have been there anyway. We didn't watch the game in this house. We protested in our own little way by not watching. I wasn't actually invited to a Super Bowl party, but we decided not to go. And I say that because, hey, male MC. I say that because part of us not watching is because, of course, like I said, I have family member that plays for Buffalo, so I wasn't watching it. And another part really was I don't want to participate in anything that Donald Trump is participating in. And so I'm going to do my part as an American citizen is to protest him. Anybody who supported DEI, any companies that supported DEI, I'm not shopping. I don't shop at Target, doing very little of going into a Walmart, trying my best not to go into Walmart. And I haven't been there. I don't want to participate in any of that's supporting any agenda that is not in my best interest as a woman, as a Black woman, and as a Black person. Okay. And that's just how I feel about it, period. So, so there's that. So let's go ahead and get into these agendas. And I want people to understand that a lot of people are going through it with these executive orders that Donald Trump has pushed through. Now, if you watch Don Lemon's show, Don Lemon is talking about the same exact things when he's talking about Project 2025. He's talking about people, the right, the MAGA people who supported Donald Trump are the ones that are losing the most behind Donald Trump and his agenda. Now, which is Project 2025. Hey, Norris. So one of the people that is most definitely part of Project 2025, let me get the video up real quick, is this guy right here. Now, he is they say he's one of the most dangerous people who is doing Project 2025. If you don't remember, he was the one that was saying that Donald Trump, I can't remember his name, but his last name is Volt. I think it's VOUGHT. He's one of the head people of Project 2025. And Donald Trump has put him into office. He's part of Donald Trump's organization.
We want their funding to be shut down. We want their funding to be shut down so that the EPA can't do. We want their funding to be shut down so that the EPA can't do all of the rules against our energy industry because they.
In an ideal world, I mean, I think we could save the country in a sense of, the largest deportation in history. And once that starts, you're going to be winning a debate along the way about what that looks like, right? Yeah. And so that's going to cause us get us off of multiculturalism just to be able to sustain and defend the deportation, right? If we're going to have legal immigration, can we get people that actually believe in Christianity? Is that something, or do we have to have, are we not allowed to ask questions about Sharia law? So I want to make sure that we can say we're a Christian nation, and my viewpoint is mostly that I would probably be Christian nationism. That's pretty close to Christian nationalism, because I also believe in nationalism.
Behind closed doors, Vogt tells us not to take Trump's disavowal seriously.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman at Project 2025.
Yeah. And you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against a brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting, he's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization, he's raised money for our organization, he's blessed it from the, I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
Our investigation into Project 2025 began 2 weeks before the meeting with Vogt at a conference for religious nationalists in D.C.
The truth is, Christian nationalism is not a threat to American democracy. Christian nationalism founded American democracy.
Journalists from the Center for Climate Reporting have come posing as potential donors, looking to meet those involved in Project 2025. They're not hard to find. The Heritage Foundation, the group running the project, are here. So is Vogt's think tank. We make the acquaintance of Mika Meadowcroft, an author on Project 2025 and a close aide to Vogt. He tells us that Vogt is running the secretive second phase of Project 2025.
The second phase, after the book came out, was to break down actual sort of policy packets and executive orders and agenda items, things like that. That's been supervised largely by us.
The first phase of Project 2025 was a 922-page policy book published openly. The second phase is a comprehensive, concrete transition plan for each federal agency. These much more detailed plans are confidential.
Yeah. Because obviously you want as little of it to be FOIA-able, if you're familiar with the FOIA process, as possible. Freedom of
Information Act, yeah.
The Freedom of Information Act allows the public to request government communications. But Meadowcroft reveals they plan to avoid these rules.
Yeah, the goal is, just familiarize all the transition team people with these plans.
Yeah.
But you don't actually send them to their work emails, because then,
right.
You could just give the handbooks to everyone, be like, this is the game plan for the admin.
Yeah.
But if the press knows that that's what you're doing, then they're going to immediately just say, I request all of your emails from Heritage.
Okay.
You
right.
are my worker.
I see.
So we'll see.
Interesting.
Meadowcroft offers to set up a meeting with his boss, Russ Vogt.
You could put me in touch with somebody who looks after his diary or whatever.
Yes, I can put you in touch with his scheduler. Yeah.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Great.
So just tell me when to do that.
We want to meet the man writing the game plan for Trump's second administration. Vogt believes that in his first term, Trump's agenda was frustrated by what he calls the deep state. So Vogt is planning a radical centralization of government power under the president, firing civil servants and ending the independence of agencies like the FBI and DOJ.
80% of my time is working on the plans of what's necessary to take control of these bureaucracies. And we are working doggedly on that, whether it's destroying their agency's notion of independence. They're independent from the president.
Vogt has also been preparing documents based on fringe legal theories, arguing the president has the power to use the military against protesters.
George Floyd obviously was not about race. It was about destabilizing the Trump administration. Right. We put out, for instance, a 50-page paper designed for lawyers to know that the president has, the ability both along the border and elsewhere to maintain law and order with the military, and that's something that it's going to be important for him to remember and his lawyers to affirm. But we've given them the case for that.
With loyalists installed in key government agencies and armed with his playbook, Vogt believes a radical Christian nationalist agenda can be realized under a second Trump presidency. For example, on abortion.
So I think the president's actually come up with a strategy that works, so long as you are giving people like me in the government the ability to block funding for Planned Parenthood, block funding for fetal tissue research. But what I've told people is he had the most pro-life record ever. I've never seen him take it to stand in the way of a pro-life initiative that actually was real, politically and with momentum.
And for Vogt, Trump's pick for vice president shows he's serious about pushing this ideological agenda when in power.
So I am very happy with the JD pick. I think it's transformative for sure. And he's, think of him as a member version of what we do. So there's no think tank, no policy organization, no battle plan creator other than us for the worldview that I think Donald Trump has and that JD has.
But as public backlash against these plans builds, the Trump campaign has been scrambling to distance themselves from Project 2025's authors.
It's complete and utter bullshit for any reporter to write that this is the way it is. The president's made it clear these people do not speak for him. They do not speak for the campaign.
But Vogt tells us that behind the scenes, things are much friendlier. The Trump campaign recently picked him to write the Republicans' policy platform, making him essentially Project 2025's man on the inside.
I think the best example is like the campaign selected me to be the platform because of their views on my policy ideas, and they're not running from all of the negativity that I get from the press.
I see. So they haven't been spooked on you as a person, you don't think?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be their transition pick because then they have all these kinds of stories. But no, the relationship is great.
The head of the Trump transition team has not yet been appointed. But Vogt says that no matter who is named, he'll be able to hand over his Project 2025 battle plans directly.
If it's someone like Stephen Miller or Bob Lighthizer, then all the stuff gets plugged right in. If it's not, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But all of it will be designed for a theory of the case that if a battle plan is out there that will do what he wants, there are the people like me that have his trust that will be able to get it to him in whatever position we're at, or I could be at Center for New America, but the relationships will be there, the trust level will be there.
Project 2025's Radical Phase 1 policy book turned into a PR disaster.
The director of Project 2025 has stepped down after facing criticism from both Democrats and the Trump campaign.
But Vogt's Phase 2 battle plans, top secret and handed directly to the transition team, remain unburdened by the brand.
And are you going to rebrand that second phase at all?
For what I do, the brand's not important.
And you're not worried that if it has Project 2025 on, he's going to go
no.
And you're not going to publish those?
No.
They go straight to...
Yeah, they're very, very close hold.
Okay.
Brilliant. It's been an education.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you very much. You can show yourself out.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So for those who did not believe that Donald Trump was part of Project 2025, there's your answer. The man that he literally just put into office. Okay. And they said the Senate, of course, the Republicans are going to go ahead and pass him through because that's what they do. And this is where we are. This is one of the phases that we're going through. But we're going to talk about these executive orders that have been passed. Also, we're going to get into a lot of things tonight. So, get your water. Anyway. Damn it. Okay. All right. So here's some of the executive orders that was passed. America First Policy Directive to the Secretary of State. Let me drop this link real quick. Okay. Okay. So America First Policy Directive to the Secretary of State directs the Secretary of State to bring the State Department in line with American First foreign policy. Now, it's already 12 of them that he's passed. It's a lot. I mean, it's more than 12. It was 12 pages, I believe. Application protecting Americans from foreign adversary Controlled Application Act to TikTok. So this is a lot of stuff. Literally, it's just so much stuff. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me get out of this real quick. Literally, my husband literally just sent it to me. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. I couldn't see it over there. All right. So the application of protecting Americans from foreign adversary controlled applications act of TikTok instructs the Attorney General to not enforce a ban on TikTok, which was enacted by Congress in 2024 and upheld by the Supreme Court this year for 75 days. Immigration clarifying the military's role in protecting the territory and integrity of the United States. It states that it's American policy to have the armed forces protect U.S. borders and requires the Defense Secretary to, within 10 days, deliver a plan on sealing the border and repelling from forms of invasion, including unlawful mass migration. That didn't help. Declaring a national energy emergency, declares a national energy emergency and expedites energy projects as well as fuel cells. Defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. So we know that what he did also was he went out and he said, guess what? And he's recently said this. Hi, Time to Smile. How you doing? He said that he got rid of men playing in women's sports. That's like his thing. He's going to continue to push these narratives that people are not really worried about. We don't care about that. That is just part of your propaganda that he's pushing. Okay. So Donald Trump he put all these executive orders. A lot of them are being stopped by the government and judges. They're putting halts to a lot of this stuff. And so the Democrats are coming in because from my understanding, they were on a hiatus and they were, didn't even realize what was going on. And so they were late to the program and they had been shut out of the federal government, right? Hey, BJ Des. So we have to remember that Donald Trump is only putting forth things that are Project 2025. Okay, spread the word because we're about to get in these streets, honey. Okay, we're gonna start protesting. That's what we're gonna have to do because Donald Trump said, I don't care what these judges say, I'm gonna do what I have to do. Because remember, Elon Musk paid $250 million. $250 million to go in and take over the federal government. When I told y'all to follow the money because this is what he's doing. He's doing all these things to make money. Elon Musk wants to stop everyone else from getting the opportunity to be on his level. He doesn't want any competition. So he's going in to the federal government, shutting it down, downloading information, your information, my information, everybody's information, right? He has access to all that. And even though they said to him, Letitia James said, you got to delete, you got to get rid of all that information. My husband said it's too late. He already has it. You telling me to burn what? Whatever, girl, I'm keeping it. We don't know. He just shouldn't even be in the government, but he is in there and Donald Trump allowed him to come in because Donald Trump got paid $250 million, right? To steal this election, whatever you want to call it. I call it stealing. He's a felon. I don't trust him. He shouldn't be trusted, right? Now the farmers are losing their minds over there because he put executive orders on these farmers and these farmers are losing their shit because they're in trouble. Okay. And it is absurd and it's the truth. Right. So, okay. So I dropped the link if anybody want to come up. Let's see. I think W1's supposed to be coming up. This is a lie. Designating cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists. Ending, I'm not going to read the rest of them. I'm just going to go through these. Ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. Ending the weaponization of the federal government. Establishing and implementing the president's Department of Government Efficiency, holding foreign and government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive government. So a lot of this is a waste of taxpayers' dollars, y'all. Y'all pay attention. Initial recessions of harmful executive orders and actions. I don't know, protecting the American people against invasion, protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship, protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats, putting America first in international and environmental agreements, realigning the United States refugee admissions program, reevaluating and realigning United States foreign aid, let's see, reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to the government service. So that right there was what he wants to do, is get people that are loyal to him. That's part of what they want to do. They want people to come in and be loyal to Donald Trump, so they can just push anything that they want to push. That's part of this is all Project 2025 stuff. We said this, so I don't understand why people are so upset and crying over there on that TikTok and talking about their farms are going down. I didn't know this was going to happen. This man said what he was going to do. And although he said that, I'm not part of Project 2025, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. I don't believe in none of this stuff. Everything that's right, all these executive orders, that is Project 2025. I don't understand why people believe a liar I don't understand that. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When they show you the first time, right? When they show you the first time who they are, believe them. Now, we have to deal with this a second time. It's bullshit. Anyway, let's see. Restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the federal workplace. Restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship, which is a lie because they don't want you talking about them. That freedom of speech is all bull crap. Okay. Trust me when I tell you, this man is this right here, that freedom of speech stuff. You can go out there and you can say what you want to, what they're saying that, but it's only going to be if it benefits them and if it's their propaganda. Restoring names that honor American greatness. So I'm assuming that they're going to put back the Confederacy stuff. Yeah, that's what it is. Reverse the names of Denali and Mount McKinley after the name was changed by the President Barack Obama in 2015 and renames the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. Renames it as the Gulf of America. I never know it was called the Gulf of America in the first place. Anyway, restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. Hey, Mel MC, what's going on?
Hey, Sonny, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just
You're good.
I was just gonna mention something that was going on here, kind of local to me, in the Huntsville, Alabama area. We have had 46,000 federal employees that report to Redstone Arsenal, and since COVID, they've been working from home, remote, as they call it. And I know a lot of people who have done this, and they've done studies in the meantime showing how much money they've been saving the federal government by doing that. They've been able to, they've rented out a lot of the office space that they were taking up. They've rented it out to private industry, you know, and that money's going back to the government because it's federal buildings, and the private companies are renting that out. But it's some of this stuff that Musk is doing that has caused them to have to go back into the office. And today was the day that it started. And I've been reading on Reddit all day long about the nightmare, how, you know, their offices aren't even there. Some of them don't even have an office to go back to. And they're talking about that Musk is there to save money and to find the money that's being wasted. Well, there's a perfect example. And I'm sure that's just one little tiny example of this going on. I'm sure that it's going on all over the country, where the federal employees are having to go back into, you know, their federal office buildings. And I know my daughter-in-law, her company went to the remote, and she's like some bigwig in her company. And she's the one, she was telling me 4 or 5 years ago about how they did a study and how much money they saved by having their employees work from home. You know, no power bill, no, you know, no office space having to be rented. They pay they pay for the internet connection for the employee. That's it. They pay for that for them. Yeah. But employee, you know, they're willing to do that for the flexibility of working from home. You know, it's a trade-off. It works for everybody.
I think it's Elon Musk's idea. I think it was his idea to implement some of that, because he believes that you get more out of people working at the job instead of at home, because they believe that people are being lazy at home and not getting enough done. This is part of his, people have to be robots, you know, and so he can basically stand over you and watch over you as you do your work. It's micromanaging, basically.
Well, you know? and one of my daughter-in-law, Whitney, one of the things that her company implemented when they started doing letting their employees work remotely, they have to sign a thing, you know, saying they have permission, like where they have their work computer set up at, the company has the ability to check in on them at any time between the hours of 9 to 5 when they're on the clock. And again, they had somebody to watch that and study it. And she said they've actually gotten more productivity because the employees like it so much, they respect it, and they don't want it to be taken away from them.
Right.
So that, you know, so they're much more aware of how they're spending their time. They're like, hey, I don't want to screw this up, you know.
Right. I mean, because my husband works from home. Like, he was like, I'm not going back into the office for what? You know, they don't, you know, and it all happened during C-19, right? So when everybody came back, they had them working from home, and they just found like it was more efficient. You less on gas, like you said, and you don't need an office space. People are working from home. You just get on your Zoom call or whatever your call is, and you have your conversations and your meetings that way, and a lot gets done. But now if you're a government worker, you have to go back to work. You have to go back into the office. And you're right, it's not getting done. And a lot of that is Elon Musk. They say he's running the way he went into Twitter and started just doing whatever into Twitter. He's doing the same thing here with his little 19-year-olds and 24-year-old racists. Well, not all of them, but one, that these young boys who know all about computers and technology. And so they are the ones that are, you know, implementing all this stuff. He's working these kids basically like robots. He wants people to be robots. Do you understand that Elon Musk does not have empathy, does not understand, he's not capable of having the understanding about human decency.
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying.
What I'm trying to say, right? I'm trying to be. He's not a good person.
He's emotionally bankrupt. Let's put it that way.
He's not connected. He has no connection, right? And maybe that's part of his autism or part of his Asperger's. But even his brother said he lacks empathy. Like, he does not understand empathy. He lacks it. He does not understand how to relate to people. So he just has babies. And now someone said that the babies, the children that he has have been artificially inseminated. That's what I read somewhere. I don't even know that.
I have read that same thing. I've read that exact same thing.
So I don't know if that's true or not, but I've read that, and I was just like, oh okay. Now it gets deeper. You know what I mean? You have no connection with the women that you are having these children with. You're just making babies. So he's a strange individual. I will say that, but I always thought he was an alien anyway. So
I was going to say, don't let anybody ever tell you that Sonny did not know what was coming with Musk, because 3 years ago, Sonny told me.
3 years ago, I said it. Let them know, Mel. I said it 3 years ago. This dude is an alien. He is not human. Like he just doesn't connect, and you can see it in his eyes. Like he has no connection to humanity. Like it's not there. It's not in his spirit. You can see it, and so he wants everybody to be robots, which I'll probably do another show about evolution. My husband and I had this deep conversation about evolution, and it's scary. I'm just letting y'all know. It's very interesting, but it's a part of, us evolving. And I might do another show about that. And we'll talk about Elon Musk and that as well, because this is where we're heading. We're going down this path. So
one other quick thing before I go down. You may have already been planning on talking about this, but coming up a week from today is we celebrate President's Day, and everybody across the country is they're organizing a protest, Not My President's Day, and it's going to be at your state capitol. It's, if you'll notice on I've seen a lot about it in my Democratic group on Reddit, but just everybody keep your eyes open. If you're anywhere near your state's capital, that's where it's going to be in your state. I live 2.5 hours from Montgomery, but I'm headed that direction Monday because it's a Not My President protest. It's going to be peaceful. They don't want they're giving, instructions. We don't want we want it to be peaceful, intelligent, and to come out and show everybody that what is going on that's not my president. But thanks, Sonny, for y'all listening to me, and I'm going to drop back down in the chat.
Thank you, Mel, for telling me that, because I didn't know anything about that, and I appreciate that. So Not My President's Day on President's Day.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'll try to send you a link over on your DM.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that.
Just some info. All righty.
Thank you. So so we have to take to the streets, people. This is what it's come down to. Now, I know a lot of Black women say, you know what, I'm gonna sit this one out because I don't want any parts of we tried to tell you. So now it's your turn. You're gonna have to F around and find out, right? So we're not protesting, we're not doing any of those things. Let me say something about that. I was for that because I understand that, right? Because we've been out here talking about Project 2025 on this show. We've talked about, I was talking about Christian white nationalists 2 years ago. We knew Donald Trump was going to run again. Him winning, I didn't believe that he was. I still don't believe that he did. Okay, I believe that Elon Musk did what he had to do to make the numbers work in their favor. That's my opinion. So I digress, but here it is. We need to take to the streets peacefully, okay? Handle our business, because it's getting real crazy out here. You have a whole president that's telling you, I'm not going to listen to what the judges said, the courts say, because I don't have to, because I have immunity. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. That is called a dictatorship. This man told you he was going to be a dictator on day one. Well, he has been a dictator since he got in office. He is saying what he's doing. He's putting forth Project 2025. Black people, Project 2025 do not benefit Black American people. That's just what it is. He's about to go have his little Black History Month, whatever. Okay? Don't buy into that. Don't fall for that. Donald Trump is a racist. He's a racist. Like I said earlier, I just got on my news feed. Hold on for a second. I just got on my news feed that they banned Kendrick Lamar for his political stance and his performance from the NFL, from doing any shows for the rest of his life, forever, entirety, okay, infinity, whatever. He can't do anymore. They don't want him there. And part of that's probably because Donald Trump figured out, oh, he was talking about me? Okay, well, you better do this and this and this and this. A dictator tells companies to get rid of certain programs, like their DEI initiatives. Get rid of those, or you will get sued. They're doing that as well. This is happening. We cannot sit back because the people that you elected into office, the Democratic Party, are just now Hakeem Jeffries and all these people. The only people I really see really standing up and telling you, look, we're not falling for this bull crap is Jasmine Crockett and AOC. They're really giving you the business. Now, all these other Democrats that are in office and talking and trying to smooth things over and be diplomatic with the bull crap, you cannot be diplomatic, y'all, if you want your freedoms. I'm just telling you, you know, you're going to have to get out there and start marching. And people have been marching. The Hispanic people are marching. They are marching for their lives. And I had said the other day, well, you're going to have to hit them in the pockets. You're going to have to hit them in their pockets. And you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to protest. You're going to protest peacefully. Protest peacefully. We don't want any drama. We don't want to, any fights. Nothing burning down. We don't want to tear down buildings, but you're going to have to get into these streets because this is the only thing that's going to help you in your future and your children. This man is becoming a dictator day by day, and it's not stopping. And he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. Your vice president literally said he should be able to do whatever he wants to. And what's going on, the court stopped trying to stop him, or the lawyers trying to stop him. That's against the law. He should be able to do whatever he wants to do. It's crazy because had that been Joe Biden or Obama, they would have been shitting bricks. What's happening right now in this country is a dictatorship. I don't know how many times I said to you all before the election, somebody laughed at it in these comments, and I said, if Donald Trump wins, we are going to be like that movie, Hunger Games. And somebody laughed in the chat. I said, you think that's funny? You think that's funny? Well, that's what's happening, right? It's happening right now. Hunger Games. I never watched the movie, but I kind of remember it was the oligarchy watching people fight. I just remember sitting there. I never saw the movie, but it was something like that. So sorry, that First Amendment freedom of speech, Kendrick Lamar can say as he pleases. We got to stop Trump, the dictator. Exactly. You have to. So like Mel MC said, on President's Day, they are having a march to their capital, or a protest at their capital all over. It's called Not My President's Day. And she's going to send me the link in my DMs. I will post it up in my community tab. You all try to go out. If you can, get out and protest. It is your right. It is your freedom, your American right to do that. Military people who have gone to war, who have served in this country, did it so you can do just that. And I know that I'm going to go. I'm going to make my sign saying I'm not going back, right? What did I say the last show? I don't age backwards, so there ain't no need for me to go backwards into time, into the golden age. No. The 1950s. I'm not going back to 1950. I wasn't born in 1950. I don't need to go back to 1950s. Okay. So please do what you can as American citizen to fight against or stand up against this dictatorship that is happening. This is America. People come here escaping dictatorships. They come here for the freedoms to enjoy and to enrich their lives and their children's lives. That's why they come here. Donald Trump, I truly believe, was not elected. I don't believe that, and I just don't believe that. There's nothing will ever make me believe that. I definitely believe that he was okay. Thank you, Mel. I'm gonna have to download this, and then I'm gonna put it in I will put this in my community page. So thank you for sending that to me. Here it is. I'll send it right now. All righty. Thank you. All right. So I am going to, she just sent it to me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it in my community tab tonight. Is that the one? All right. So let's get back to these executive orders. Let's see. All right. Okay. So restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. Okay. So this defends the use of capital punishment where possible and directs the Attorney General to seek the death penalty if a law enforcement officer is murdered or if someone in the U.S. illegally commits a capital crime. Asks the Attorney General to study the 37 death row inmates whose sentences Biden commuted and make sure they are imprisoned in conditions consistent with the monstrosities of their crimes and the threats they pose, as well as check to see if these inmates are eligible to be charged with state capital offenses. Calls on the Attorney General to help keep drugs needed for lethal injections available. Okay. Which I find kind of hypocritical since they came in and the Donald Trump's Proud Boys and Oath Keepers at the Capitol, caused the death of officers. Securing our borders, unleashing Alaska's extraordinary resource potential, unleashing American energy. A lot of executive orders here. And I think it's very important that you know what Donald Trump has put forth, because we hear some of them, we don't hear all of them. And what he's doing is he's just signing. He's not even reading it. He's just signing stuff over. Okay. He's doing a lot of that. If you ever notice, he asks the person who hands them the book, and the executive order, and he goes, well, what is this? And he tells him, okay, he signs it off. Okay, what's the next one? Oh, what is this? Okay, signs it off. He has no idea what's going on. He doesn't care. He's just signing stuff because that was his duty, that was his agenda. That was the Heritage Foundation's agenda. And they said, you go ahead, we'll elect you, we'll get you elected by any means necessary so you can push forth this agenda. Because they knew that Donald Trump had a base. And so that's why they used him, because they had a base and they knew that base would show up and show out for Donald Trump. That's why they used Donald Trump. Donald Trump is being used. Okay. And though he sit up there like he's a king on a freaking throne, looking down on the rest of us, right? Saying like Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake. Because basically that's what he's saying. I don't care about you. I don't care about you starving. Right? I don't give two shits about what's going on in your life. Let them eat cake. Eggs are still high, and it's getting higher because of the bird infection of the bird flu, right? That's killing off the birds. Measles, there's an outbreak of measles in rural areas with people who don't want to get their children vaccinated. Because why they don't believe in vaccinations? Because Donald Trump told them that it was fake. So now they have an outbreak of measles in these rural areas. He's getting rid of the board of education. They're getting ready to gut that, right? Which means rural children that live in rural areas or inner city schools are not going to get the proper education that is needed for them to move along. You know why? Because they still want working people. And he said it, his girl, the girl, his press secretary said it, because we need a working class people. That means dumb you down so you cannot get a higher education. So you need a group of people that you can control in a working class environment. Working class means you're going to be getting paid $7.25 an hour because they are not going to raise the minimum wage. Not happening. They already said they're not going to do it. This is why it's important for people to say, you know what? Let me do something. You're going to have to protest. I'm just telling you, it's going to have to happen. Now, I know black women say we're not doing it, but you're going to have to, we're going to all have to come together. This is the moment to come together and take back what belongs to American people. And once you do that, excuse me, because protesting is going to be part of the lighting the fire up underneath the Democrats. Because all this lackadaisical stuff, I ain't with it. I'm just letting it be known. Okay. Like I said, Jasmine Crockett and AOC are the only ones I really see saying something. Jasmine Crockett got her whole foot up their asses. And so does the AOC. Hakeem Jeffries and I like Hakeem Jeffries. That's cool, whatever. And all the rhyming and stuff, that's real cute, whatever. We ain't got time for that. I need y'all to be a Malcolm X up in here. That's what I need. I need a Malcolm X. I need a Malcolm X that's not scared to say whatever they need to say. Say it with your chest. That's what we need. We need somebody that's going to put their whole foot down and say, I'm over this shit. What you want? Here we are. Let's go. We got to go toe to toe. Let's do what we need to do. Because we're not putting up with Donald. We shouldn't have to put up with this madness. You know, oh, it's okay for us to do it, but it ain't okay for y'all to do it. And then you're sitting here, this man is allowing January 6 people who stormed the Capitol to roam the earth like it ain't nothing. Now, had that been a bunch of black people, they would have shot them down in the street. And you know that, and I know that. We all know that. That's real talk. That is what it is. Okay? So let's not play games over here. We're not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to be diplomatic. I don't care. Let's be real. We're talking real right here today. That's what would have happened had that been a group of people of color shot them down in the streets and they stormed the Capitol building. Wouldn't even be that way. They would have had cops all over the place. Ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity, which is his whole DEI stuff. So we're going to end all this and we're going to do merit-based. Merit-based? His whole cabinet is DEI. That little girl that sits up there, 27-year-old girl, his press secretary, she is DEI. Okay? She is a 27-year-old girl married to a 60-year-old man, millionaire, okay, graduated from college. And was his assistant in something she did for him. She worked on Donald Trump's, she worked in Donald Trump's team when he was first time he was in office. She has no big time experience. She's DEI. She is DEI. Hexet DEI. He don't have any knowledge of what's going on. He served in the military, but he doesn't even have the capabilities to even run the military. DEI. So miss me with it's all bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors. I understand all of that. That's fine and grand. That's great. Smoke and mirrors. It's the chaos. They keep passing forth all this, these executive orders, sign, keep you focused on one thing, but sign, and you passing all these executive orders. And I understand that, but we're past that now. Now You signed your executive orders. Some of it's being stopped, and you're ignoring it. So now what we have to do is get up off our asses. Like Kendrick Lamar said, turn the TV off. Okay? Turn off the TV and get your ass out there and start doing what you have to do. We have to stand up for our rights as American citizens. Declassification of records concerning the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. He did that. We saw that. Removing barriers to the American leadership in artificial intelligence. That's AI. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. Council to assess the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Emergency measures to provide water resources in California and improve disaster response in certain areas. This man is so something else. Okay. Enforcing the Hyde Amendment. That one is revokes 2 of Biden's executive orders on abortion access, which sought to ensure safety at clinics and pharmacies, established an interagency task force on reproductive healthcare access, assisted states with legal protections for out-of-state patients, explored access to service through Medicaid, and called for improvements on research and data collections on reproductive health access. Prioritizing military excellence and readiness, reinstating service members discharged under the military's COVID-19 vaccination mandate, restoring America's fighting force, the Iron Dome for America. So calls for the Iron Dome for America, although the order calls for the creation of a missile defense system that differs from Israel's Iron Dome, which is a short-range missile defense system. This order gives the defense secretary 60 days to submit a plan for a next-generation missile defense shield, calling for the shield to include capabilities in space to detect, track, and intercept missiles and stop missiles before launched. Okay. Protecting children from chemical and surgical mutilation. States that federal funds should not be used for gender-affirming medical care for minors, instructs federal agencies to ensure hospitals and medical schools receiving federal research and education grants in such gender-affirming care, directs agencies to rescind or amend policies that rely on guidance from the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, bars federal employee health insurance plans from covering gender-affirming care for minors, including surgeries and hormone treatments. I didn't know children had. I didn't know that children had. I didn't know children were having sex changes. Sorry, didn't know that. I never heard of that. I don't believe that happens. But okay, I don't believe that happens. Celebrating America's 250th birthday. Ending radical indoctrination in K-12 schooling. Instructs cabinet heads to develop a strategy within 90 days to eliminate federal funds from being used for discriminatory treatment and indoctrination in K-12 schools, including based on gender ideology and discriminatory equity ideology. Reestablished the 1776 Commission with the Education Department focused on patriotic education. So that means that what they're going to do is they're going to put the Bibles back in school. They've already done that so far in certain states like Oklahoma, and I think in Texas as well. And so, they're going to probably get rid of more Black history. Okay. So if you are Black and you are watching this channel right now, download as much information that you can about Black history, from even if it's from websites, whatever, books, buy books. You're going to have to start teaching your children at home about with the history of Black Americans in this country and slavery, all of that. You're gonna start teaching that because they're gonna wipe that out of the schools. This is what's going on, pretty much. Let's see. Mel says there are very few 12 to 16-year-olds that have been started on hormone therapy, but it's under the strict care of appropriate doctors and parents. I saw a doc on this, and it literally saves mental health. Yeah, that's why I'm like I've never heard of that, and a lot of that is just a bunch of propaganda, you know. So she said, Mel says, I have been trying to educate myself on trans issues. There are so many layers, and it's a lot of layers to transgender issues, a lot of layers. And so I think that what people don't understand and what are confused by or are the trans people, you know, they're just like everybody else. Part of it, I think, is, from my understanding, they are born with they are born mentally, they think they're women, or they believe in their mind that they are women, but they may have male parts in their hormones also. There are some women, there are some people that are born with both, right? There are people who are born that may have hormones that are female, and then their genitals are male or female. You know what I'm saying? And it could be the opposite. So it's a lot of layers to transgender people. They're human just like everybody else, and they want to live just like everybody else and be able to have the same rights as everybody else. I don't understand the problem. Let people live. Let people be themselves. You know, just mind your business. Mind your damn business. It has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. Now, I didn't agree with transgender men, or I think it's women, because when it's transgender, they transgender to men, transgender to women, and opposite. So I didn't believe in the whole sports thing because men are stronger than women. And that's just what it is. I don't, you know, my husband said, but that's not always the case. I said, okay. But it ain't none of my business. I don't play sports, so it doesn't hinder me. So I don't get involved in all that nonsense, right? I don't get involved in all that because they don't have nothing to do with me. I don't lay down. I lay down with my husband, me and my husband, and we live our lives. I don't interfere in other people's stuff when it comes to their life and how they live their life. As long as they treat people with kindness, I'm okay with it. It has nothing to do with me. It ain't none of your business. And I don't understand that. So anyway, Gogo says the orange blob and his muskrat thief needs to exit stage left and let an actual president take the seat. That's what I think. That's what I think. Gogo. Mel MC said, "Oh, MAGA is sensationalizing trans issues for sure. Once you educate yourself to understand it so much better, they are extremely rare to be violent or aggressive, and they just want to live their life safe." Exactly. They just want to live in peace and harmony, just like everybody else. That's it. People around the world, they just want to live in peace. People in this country want to live in peace. People in Africa want to live in peace. They want peace. Everybody wants the same thing out of life. Everybody does around the world. If they have a family, they want to be able to take care of their family and make sure their family is healthy. That's around the world. That's your main goal, is to love your family, take care of your family, and make sure everyone is healthy. All this other stuff you worried about, but that's the propaganda that Donald Trump is pushing. But you can't make me go out and vote for Donald Trump because he's getting rid of transgenders playing in women's sports. I don't care about that. You know, I mean, up your game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for me, I did not agree with transgender women playing it with women, because I know it, the way I see it, they are just stronger. because there are men who transgender to women, and you can't understand that. That's fine, but that's what I believed in. It don't make me hate them. Don't make me dislike them. I think they should be able to be who they are. My husband said, well, so what sports should they play? I said, I don't know. Maybe they should, have a team where they can play amongst each other. Just like Special Olympics. Come up with a team. Come up with a program or something that, or an organization where they play amongst each other and they give each other awards. Because I just don't see women winning against playing basketball against a man. I just don't see that. That's just me. I just think men are stronger. But that's just my opinion. Like opinions, like assholes, everybody have one. Let's see. Expanding education, freedom, and opportunity for families. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord, child. Donald Trump is something else. Unleashing prosperity through deregulations. Okay. Calls for the elimination of 10 federal regulations for each new regulation that is proposed or issued. Also calls for federal agencies to keep the cost of new regulations at or below zero for the 2025 fiscal year. Imposing duties to address the flow of the illicit drugs across our northern border. From my understanding, they say less than 5% of fentanyl comes into the country from the northern border. Imposing duties to address the synthetic opioid supply chain in the People's Republic of China. Imposing duties to address the situation at our southern border. A plan for establishing a United States sovereign wealth fund. Okay. Calls for a plan to create an American sovereign wealth fund that aims to promote fiscal sustainability, lessen the burden of taxes on American families and small businesses, establish economic security for future generations, and promote United States economic and strategic leadership internationally. Sounds good. We'll see. Progress on the situation at our southern border. Progress on the situation at our northern border. So he's passing these tariffs. So he pauses tariffs on Canada until March 4th, and he's pausing tariffs on Mexico until March 4th. Withdrawing the United States from and ending funding to certain United Nations organizations and reviewing United States support to all international organizations. Keeping men out of women's sports. Eradicating anti-Christian bias. Okay, now this is part of Project 2025. Anything that has to do with Project 2025, normally has to do with white Christianity. All right, Christian nationalists, okay? Gogo says, you already said. Mel says, so right, Gogo, it's to the point of being scary and it's only going to get worse. Exactly. So let's see. Establish a task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias, composed of cabinet secretaries who operate for 2 years. Directs the task force to identify an unlawful anti-Christian policies practice or conduct by an agency during the Biden administration, and recommend steps to revoke or terminate any of the policies or practices. Also instructs the task force to recommend additional presidential legislative offices or legislative actions. Okay. Imposing sanctions on the International Criminal Court, protecting Second Amendment rights. Calls for the Attorney General to prepare a report to assess any ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment rights of our citizens, including review of Joe Biden's administration orders. Establishment of the White House Faith Office creates a new White House Faith Office to replace the White House Office of Faith-Based and Community Initiatives. The office lives inside of the Domestic Policy Council and will advise public and private entities, including the presidency, about faith-related issues. And last but not least, addressing egregious actions of the Republic of South Africa. Okay, now this one is interesting. Ends aid to South Africa as long as it continues unjust, immoral practices against Afrikaners. Those are the white people, white Africans, and aggressive positions toward the United States and its allies, including criticisms of Israel. America will promote the resettlement of Afrikaner refugees escaping government-sponsored race-based discrimination and prioritize relief and resettlement of Afrikaners deemed victim of unjust racial discrimination. Now, if you go look this up and do a little bit of research, you will find that that is propaganda. That is propaganda from Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So we know that Elon Musk is South African, and what he's saying is, and he was brought up in apartheid, and so he is saying that white South Africans are their land is being taken away from them and is being spread out, stolen from these people and given to Black African people, right? And so what's happening is actually the government is saying, because of apartheid, some of these properties and stuff was stolen from African people. And so what they're doing is they're giving, it's like 40 acres and a mule, I guess you could say. They are literally getting reparations. And of course, Elon Musk doesn't believe in that. And so he's upset about that. And so this little crap here, this is basically bullshit. It's just not true. The people in South Africa and the white South Africans said they don't need your amnesty. Okay. We don't need it, Donald Trump. Keep it. We love living here. We're okay with that. We don't like some of what's going on, but we're willing to stay in Africa and work through our issues. Okay. So Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the lies they tell. So that's 12 pages of what Donald Trump has done so far in office. And, what else he's going to do, I don't know. But we need to, like I said before, we need to stand up and we need to get out here, hit these streets, make your signs and protest. Protest peacefully if that's what you're going to do. We need to organize. And I've been talking about this. There needs to be organization if you decide to get together with somebody and say, you know what, we need to organize a group of people and go protest Donald Trump and what he's doing. He wants to become king of the United States. He wants to be a dictator. And some of these executive orders that he's already passed, of course, is being stopped by the federal government. Maybe that's why Joe Biden said, I'm going to put these 30 judges, 30 judges or 300 judges into the federal government before I leave, to make sure that I know what Donald Trump is doing, because they already knew Project 2025 was part of his agenda. Just like we talked about it over here. And everywhere, everybody was talking about it. So, and I know a lot of people say, you know what, we told you so. We told you so. And some people are like, I want you to find out. MAGA, I want you to find out. I mean, part of me is like, I want y'all to find out so y'all can understand and wake up from your trance that you are in. Okay. Donald Trump does not care about anyone but himself and the people that surround him. And I don't even think he cares about those people. He just owes those people. Okay. He owed them because he was put back into office by whatever way he got there. He's there. And so now this is what we have to deal with. When Kamala Harris had her last meeting online, her last speech, she said it's going to be tough to deal with. You're going to go through all these emotions. I'm paraphrasing what she said. You're going to go through all these emotions, and we're going to go through some hard times, but you're going to have to stay in the fight. Okay. So we're going to have to stay in this fight. We're going to have to get off our asses, turn off the TV, okay? Do a little research and say, I will not be going backwards. I am going forward because it is called progression. It is called evolution. It's called change. And change is good. Change is good because that means you are moving forward. If you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, whatever you believe in, if you are religious, you know that that's what it says. Change is the ultimate. Change is the ultimate. That is the thing about Jesus dying, right? And he was reborn. Evolution. It's however you look at it. But he was a rebirth. So we need to move forward so we can start anew. We need to come together as one. Don't quote me on no Bible stuff because y'all know I'm not religious. But we need to come together as one. Okay? All of us. We might not always get along. We might not always agree with certain things, how we move forward. But we need to come together as one because we do not want to be ran by a dictator. And especially like a dictator like Donald Trump. Okay? That's a fact. We don't want that. We don't want that over here. So Mel MC sent me a link. I am going to drop that in my community page for you all to look at that. Maybe it's in your city or your state where it's going to be, if there is anyone in Alabama, hit me up over on Instagram about the protest Montgomery. We got to show up. There you go. On President's Day, where she is saying where they are going to go march to on the capital of her state and maybe here, maybe it's all around. I'm gonna look at it and I'm post it. And just do it because this is the time. This is the time to take to the streets, y'all. It's time. We don't need any more executive orders. You know, we don't need a president that says, screw you, I'm doing what I want to do. Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate you all being here tonight. You keep the faith. Okay. Let's stay positive and keep the faith. But stand up for your beliefs, stand up for your rights, and let's move forward. We're not going back. Okay. I will love on you guys later. See you later. Thank you. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mel MC. Thank you, Mel NYC for coming in. Let's see who else was here. BJ Des. Thank you. The Vic 38. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Gwen was here. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Gwen. Monique, thank you for being here. The Intellectual Soapbox, thank you for being here. Cherie, thank you for being here. I appreciate you always being here and always showing up. I appreciate the support. Y'all hit the like button and share it. Do whatever makes you happy. Okay? See y'all later. Y'all have a good night. I gotta go to my videos. Good night.
In an ideal world, I mean, I think we